how's it going? Welcome to Collected Creations. In this video I'm talking about what goes into making a Blu-ray. Plastic and optical devices, I think. Now, I'm actually more looking at what can make a Blu-ray shine from a bare-bones release to something that is really nicely designed, nicely well thought out, something that isn't improvised like this video, contrasting a popular studio release of a film to a boutique label, and when can the studios kind of butcher both? Now, of course, what good comparison do I have? What recent film do I have here that I feel like, could have had something really, really special? Challenges, which is a fine Blu-ray, nice enough transfer, good audio, no special features. Now, I'm not going to make the argument that it needs a 4K UHD. It's a modern era. It should automatically have a 4K UHD. But the Blu-ray itself doesn't have anything else to it. No, there's nothing. There is fuck all in terms of this release, which is insane because of both the production and the crew and the cast. Like, you'd think there would be a commentary or behind-the-scenes featurette, something minimal at least, something like 5 minutes at least, something stupid and cheesy that's just a bunch of interviews in the behind-the-scenes stuff, cut together with trailer footage, your regular spiel, but there's zilch. And that sucks. But you contrast that with a boutique release, where suddenly the boutique release is only getting a 1080p transfer, a trailer, and not much else. And so I feel like this is my fear when it comes to physical media. Everyone's always saying the death of physical media this, death of physical media that. What if studios are still okay with films coming out on Blu-ray, on DVD, 4K, whatever, but they don't put in any respectful treatment to it? They don't provide you with any special features, they don't provide you with anything extra. Or, say, it's an older film, been out for a couple of decades, something that was filmed on film, so not something very common now, and finally gets that Blu-ray release with nothing on it, Even the scan is like, it's fine. It's not a restoration. There's still specks and dirt. The audio is fine, maybe a basic stereo track, 2.0 maybe. Probably not 1.0, because nobody really has 1.0 anymore. Even like the shittiest of labels don't even strive for 1.0 unless they're going the purest angle. And if they're going purest, they go 1.0, 2.0, 5.1, maybe Atmos and or 7.1. That's where if you might luck out. But, what if we don't get much at all, And, I love physical media, obviously. Whether it's standard, studio releases or boutique labels. And it can be disappointing when you see boutique labels that suddenly just don't have much to go for, Like, maybe the scan happens to be a 2K restoration because maybe the father company, the person who owns the actual print, was like, look, we've done a remaster, you can have it, for your Blu-ray release that's exclusive in your region, your country, whatever, but we're not going to let you put in any special features. No matter how much you beg, no matter how much you ask, no matter how much money that you will be willing to put into it, we're not going to let you do it. And that's where I feel like it's getting to a point that is becoming narrow-minded and scary. And this isn't uncommon. We've had Blu-ray DVD releases for yonkers now, long time now, that have only gotten basic releases. Maybe they'll eventually get something with a boutique release, or they will get a re-release in a couple months' time with an actual better picture and maybe actual special features. But, usually it's few and far between. I know Evil Dead Rise still came with, you could get the 4K Blu-ray set, whatever, but it wasn't until 6 months after its release that they released a steelbook that had special features. Minimal, but at least it was like a commentary and maybe a featurette or two. But the special features were exclusive to the new release, which should have come out with the original release. What the fuck's happening with challenges? It's just that. And, like, I'm very adamant about that because it's my favourite film of the year so far. I'd expect something more to it, you know? But, studios are lazy. They've always been goddamn lazy. We're lucky to at least get films sometimes. Barbarian still doesn't have a goddamn Blu-ray release. What the fuck is going on? But of course you contrast that to a boutique label. Say, I know Imprint, for example, is one that I've seen occasionally. They've only ever gotten maybe just a 1080p scan and a theatrical trailer. Whether they haven't put any effort in or someone has stopped them from allowing them to put in extra special features, I don't know. I wouldn't say that they're the only ones. Like Madman as well have occasionally been limited to just the Blu-ray version of a film. Maybe not even a 4K, just a Blu-ray, that's it. No special features, no nothing. Just, outside of their Madman propaganda, which is always just trailers for other releases that they've worked on. But that almost feels like an obligatory, like they're allowed to do that, but they can't do anything else. And it comes down to that thing of if releases, if brands and distributors who are known for their extra effort, occasionally or usually always, aren't allowed to do anything outside of maybe archival features, if that, what the fuck is happening? And, I've just noticed it a lot more often now with certain Blu-ray brands. I've noticed it with local ones, obviously, because I buy local ones a lot more often. But, even something like, see, it can depend, because I had watched Rent-A-Cop, which is a Kino Lorber release. I'd only gotten it because of the commentary track, which was done by Lee Gambin. But the thing was, that's all the film comes with. It's a 4K scan. Nice, very good. Looks wonderful, sounds good. But it only comes with a commentary track. There's nothing else. There's no interviews with anyone. I know Burt Reynolds is dead, but there's nothing archival. There's nothing else. It's like, why is that? Were they only allowed to do one or the other? You either get archival features or you get a new commentary. And of course, Lee is wonderful with his commentary, so sure, not a bad option. But it's like, did they not think, oh, this film isn't that well loved? Who gives a shit, But then I feel like that feels disrespectful to films, and I don't think the studios are that disrespectful for the films. If they were disrespectful to the films, they wouldn't put in the effort for a 4K scan or even a commentary. They would just go as bare bones as possible. But even that, I don't think is accurate, because these studios, these companies have to fight to get these transfers, to get the rights to actually produce a physical release of these films. And that's very noteworthy. I can never really name and shame any companies, any labels for putting in the bare minimum. Like, I've been disappointed by releases from certain brands before. I know 101 Films had a really awful transfer of a film. What was it, Black Christmas? They still had some benefits. Hey, here's a poster or alternate artwork and a trailer and a couple of interviews, but it was the transfer of the film looked awful. And I ended up getting the Scream Factory one because of the 4K restoration. It was like, holy shit, this looks stunning in contrast to what I previously had. And for me in particular, that kind of ruined my experience of the film. I didn't really put that much consideration to the film. I didn't really like it that much because I was like, look, it kind of looks like shit, But at least when I ended up rewatching it, ironically not actually with the 4K print, I actually watched it in the cinema with friends, and we were like, this is the bee's knees. But then I came home that night, looked at the scan, the 4K I had, and I was like, actually, this looks really good. Sure, the projected version we had was not that scan. It was easily the old scan, but it kind of worked in the environment of a cinema during Christmas. It was all kind of a thing. But yeah, so it's becoming just notable and noticeable that the people who own these prints aren't allowing the extra effort to be put into them. We all want the best look and sound for a picture. We all want that. We all want it on some kind of a disc. I know that some people have tried making some releases of films to have the best, we want this, we want an interview with that person, we want a commentary from that person, this, that, and everything between. And it's like, the effort that they strive for is commendable, but the people who own the prints are just like, nah, fuck you. Probably, I don't know, I can't quote anyone verbatim, mostly because I'm not allowed to, but also because I can't. I don't know any of this stuff from personal experience, just from what I've seen online and what I've been told from some people. as an overall, I think it's an interesting thing that I feel like people who buy Blu-rays and DVDs, people like you and me, obviously, look at this shit. Like, we care as much for the product as we do the film. You know, like, we love the film, we love the TV show, but it's also what we're buying as a product. The product will have a restoration or not. It will have great audio or not. It will have special features or not. Good packaging or not. You know, decent artwork or not. You know, and it's just becoming it's just a strange kind of thing that you wouldn't think of. Like, as much as it's as already a struggle for physical media to kind of still permeate and exist, it's becoming a collector's habit. It's becoming less and less of something for a regular consumer market. And of course, if the products themselves don't reflect the values of what the actual product is, then it kind of makes it look shittier. You know, did I really want to spend retail price 30 Australian dollars on Challengers? Well, yeah, I was happy to, because I didn't spend that much to see it in cinemas, but that's because I am a member with, like, Hoyts and Village and whatever, so I can get, you know, cheaper tickets. But, you know, I also love the film, and I hate that it comes with fucking nothing. A studio release, bare bones. Like, even Bones and All, Luca Guadagnino's previous film, at least had something else, you know? Not much, but it's something. Who did Challengers? Was it not the same studio? Oh, look at that. It's the same studio. Man, they keep changing their logo. What's up with that? It's both MGM and both Warner Brothers. And this has nothing. The only extra thing this has is just Dolby Atmos. And I don't think it actually has an alternative audio track outside of just 5.1s for other languages. This has Dolby Atmos and Dolby... It has the exact same things. But at least this has special features. How did Bones and All, a film that I feel like went so under the radar mostly because of the pandemic, and I didn't even get to see it till I bought the Blu-ray, and I thank God I did. Why does this have more treatment and respect than something like Challengers? Why is the studio being lazy, being pitiful almost? Like, this also begs a comparison thing for other studios and other boutique labels, for example, that release films on the odd occasion. Say, Scream Factory had their 4K of Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and I was like, I gotta get me that because, you know, HDR grading, Dolby Vision, I believe new audio, probably not. I have a new special features. I should look into the special features. Not much to ride home about. I realized that actually, realistically, I'm not benefiting by a lot, and I kind of wonder why that is. Why does Scream Factory not have a better release than what Arrow had? I already have the Arrow version. Nice artwork, nice poster, nice slipcover, it's even shiny and stuff, you know. 4K remaster, not on a UHD disc, but a 4K remaster. You get the same audio options and you get the same, you know, special features. Why does Scream Factory not have anything other? And of course, they're probably thinking domestic market. That's what they're selling to, is a domestic market. Hey, we've finally got the US rights. We're going to do this. It's better than the old Blu-ray, which is more than likely, obviously, true, especially because it's a brand new 4K restoration from the original negative, Dolby Vision, all that bullshit. You know, UHD disc. It's always something that I could compare the two and be like, sure, Scream Factory looks better, but outside of that, what does it have? And it kind of makes me wonder, like, sometimes a release will just not have anything else to it. It'll be a comparison, like, if it's a film that's had no release whatsoever and it gets nothing extra to it, no special features, nothing like that, that's just disrespectful. If it's a film that has maybe a boutique release and then gets another boutique release, or gets a standard release and then gets a boutique release, say again, Imprint with their release of Secretary, that was a good upgrade, both in terms of, like, the artwork and the packaging, but also, like, you know, the picture was slightly better in bitrate, the audio was a downgrade, but it didn't need a 7.1 mix to begin with, and it had a buttload of special features, including some new interviews, and a commentary. It's like, wow, wonderful, how cool is that? That's like stuff I wouldn't have expected for a film that's just Secretary, and yet it was given a good treatment. And I love that about it. Sure, it's not a brand new remaster or anything, but, you know, again, Imprint doesn't do that. They don't do remasters. It's not like they wouldn't want to. I think if they had the capabilities, they more than likely would. It's just the fact that it's who has the print, and if that person remasters it or not. I don't know, it's just strange. And of course, because I'm obviously not just comparing like newer releases of films that get poor treatments versus boutique labels that when they get new releases but in a different country, in contrast to a release I might already have, what's the difference? Like, if you say Killer Clowns, if you don't have any release ever, then you more than likely get the US Scream Factory release, because at least you're getting a Dolby version, you're getting the UHD disc. It's all the same stuff that's already been existed on the Arrow version, but you're still getting some kind of an upgrade. Anyway, that's just my thoughts. It's a constant progress of concern, and examining how things are treated in their physical spaces and their releases, and if the companies are putting in as much as they can, if they're allowed to put in as much as they can. So it's a constantly evolving thing, but I'm still just happy that we can sometimes just get a Blu-ray release of a film, some kind of a release, even if there isn't that much extra to it. Anyway, that's all. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll see you next time. Adios.